from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
The mother who rushed past police to enter Robb Elementary, saving her kids and more, well, she now steps up and talks out. What happened and what comes next? We hear from her in just a bit.
And a gunman is on the run this morning after San Antonio police say they shot 4 people on the north side, sending them all to the hospital. The details are coming up.
And taking a live look out at the Alamo City, 79 degrees now. Talk of the morning, I don't know about you, I'm feeling 22. We could hit number 22, triple-digit day of the year already. Woo!
You seem very excited about it.
You know what? I'm excited because the forecast looks good for the future. And enter Sarah Spivey.
It does, Max and Alicia. We are going to have the chance for rain this week. It's been a while since we've been able to even put a decent chance for rain in the forecast. Of course, we'll talk about that, but we've got to get through today. Outside right now, it is 80 degrees, and that dew point, which is 72 degrees right now, makes it feel like it's 84. So we've got high humidity, warm conditions out there right now. We've also got a few clouds. Here's a look at the satellite and the temperatures as well. Just some puffy cumulus clouds out there early this morning. It's 78 in Hondo, 75 in Bandera, 75 in Bernie, 77 in New Braunfels, and 77 in Converse. A warm start to our day, but it's going to get even warmer in the afternoon. 101 for the high temperature. There is an off chance for a stray shower, about a 10% chance this afternoon, but as I've been hinting, better rain chances in the forecast in the coming days, all thanks to a cool front and some tropical moisture. We'll talk about that and how quote unquote cool temperatures will get in just a bit. Max, Alicia.
Thank you, Sarah. And new this morning, gunshots ring out in a Northside parking lot, leaving 4 people hurt, 2 in critical condition. Police say this happened at 2:30 in the parking lot of the Manhattan nightclub in the 3800 block of Blanco Road. That's near Mandalay Drive. Officers tell us there was a disturbance inside the nightclub, but that escalated with a confrontation happening outside. Multiple shell casings were found at the scene. 2 men were transported to University Hospital. They're in critical condition. Police say 2 other people who were injured managed to get themselves to the hospital. Their condition is unknown. Authorities are now questioning multiple witnesses, but no arrests have been made.
And another person in the hospital this morning after a terrifying crash. San Antonio firefighters tell us a woman T-boned a pickup truck and the impact sent the truck through a rock wall. So take a look. This was the situation just before 3 a.m. This is the intersection of Blanco and Bassey Roads. Now, firefighters on the scene telling us the collision sent that pickup through a rock wall, landing in a parking lot of the Elena Village Shopping Center. The driver of the truck taken to a nearby hospital. Police still investigating, trying to figure out what exactly happened.
And another crash on the south side also sent a driver to the hospital. This crash happened earlier, just after 2 this morning at West Malone and Freelon Street. San Antonio police say 2 vehicles collided in the intersection. 1 person was taken to downtown Baptist Hospital in fair to good condition. Police are calling the crash an accident.
Some of the top stories we're following this morning. An investigation now underway after a plane crash in Kerrville, and it ended with a fire near the Kerr County Airport. So this is all according to the Kerrville Police Department. The plane went down yesterday evening near the campus of Our Lady of the Hills College Prep on State Highway 27. Kerrville firefighters able to put out the flames. The Texas Department of Public Safety, they're handling the investigation. Details as to what type of plane and what caused the crash still under investigation. Right now, no word on any injuries. We are staying on top of the story. We do expect more updates, more information throughout the day. All right, so in the aftermath of Uvalde, we are now hearing a lot of people speak out. We hear from one mother who rushed past police, rushing into the elementary school, taking her children out after she heard gunfire.
This is Angelique Gomez. Again, she's a mother of a student at Uvalde. We know she broke through a police line to run into Robb Elementary on the day of that deadly school shooting. So Angelique Gomez says she saw law enforcement surrounding the school, but she saw them not rushing, and her overwhelming frustration initially landing her in handcuffs outside of Robb Elementary. But once she was unrestrained, she was able to go into the school, save her children, and bring out other students as well. Gomez sat down with John Paul Barajas and reveals her fight and struggle with law enforcement isn't over.
Somebody jump out the window.
Oh, the kids. They're getting the kids out.
In that moment, I was like, they're really happy to see each other. They got that they're each other, that they're alive. The boys were crying very hard and saying our friends have died today.
Angelique Gomez says she'll never forget reuniting with her two sons at Robb Elementary, a place she's been to for years, but this time having to run past officers to make it inside to get her kids out of harm's way.
I left work and did their job for my two sons, so they felt me and my sons and all the rest who died and the kids who were in the building and that are traumatized by it now.
Are you in there? Where?
She, along with other parents, cried and begged officers to run in. Gomez was handcuffed briefly for not cooperating. After being let go, she jumped a fence and went into the school not once, but twice. It's something the DPS director has said is exactly what officers who were trained, had tactical gear and weapons should have done to stop the massacre. While inside, Gomez got her kids as well as told a few other classrooms to make a run for it. Now a month removed from the tragedy, some families are lawyering up.
This is an unusual case because herein you have police actually preventing people from protecting third persons or protecting their own children. Men that were, I believe, tased and pushed down. As a matter of fact, Angelique was falsely arrested or falsely imprisoned for a short period of time.
Gomez and her attorney, Mark DiCarlo, are planning on filing multiple lawsuits in this case over law enforcement response and school security, as well as defending possible charges of tampering with an active scene.
The sacrifice is worth it. Living and breathing is worth it.
John Paul Barajas, KSAT 12 News.
Well, it seemed like violent crime has been on the rise here in the Alamo City and seemingly across the country. You know, in the last couple of weekends, we've had multiple shootings, terrible shootings, seemingly day after day. We're telling you about worse and worse violent crime happening here in San Antonio. And people are concerned. So joining us today in today's Leading SA segment is Chief William McManus. Good morning, Chief.
Good morning.
All right, so Chief, in the last few weekends alone, we reported on a father and 4-year-old son shot in their living room. That was this weekend. I mean, Alicia just talked about the story, 4 people shot overnight. We had the 3 women shot with an AK-47 just sitting in their car in Castle Hills. And then last weekend, we heard from you outside of what started as a family barbecue, ending with 7 people shot. So numbers-wise, are we seeing an increase in violent crimes?
We are. We're seeing an increase in violent gun crime for sure. And like in so many cases, a lot of the gun violence is due to risky behavior, I'll call it. But altercations, last night, there was an altercation outside a bar off of on Blanco. And so many we see like that. And it's frustrating because people are real quick to pull a gun to try to settle an argument. And again, that's what we see time after time.
In the past, you have told us about the partnership with criminologists. How has that gone and what does it entail and what are the goals?
We're working with criminologists from UTSA on a violence prevention plan, and we started that several weeks ago. We've been meeting with them on a regular basis. They're scouring the data, crime data, and we're actually scheduled to meet with them again. I believe it's right after the 4th. They'll have at least a blueprint of that plan moving forward. We expect to have that in place probably sometime toward the end of the summer and into the fall.
Oh, in terms of this violent crime we're seeing, from your perspective, why is this happening? I mean, you've been here a while in San Antonio. We've been here a while in San Antonio. It seems like just recently we've seen this uptick.
You know, I think there's a couple different reasons for that. There's a lot of opinions out there about it. One of them is the pandemic. I'm not buying into that opinion, but I do believe that the police department is just, or law enforcement is just one aspect of the criminal justice system. There are other facets of the criminal justice system, and unless we are operating in sync, I think this is what you get. But right now, I'm concerned, to be very candid about it, I'm concerned that there are several things that lead to lead to the violence, lead to the repeat offenders still being out on the street. And I think that low bail, no bail is a problem. You have people who are being arrested for a variety of crimes, violent crimes included, who are being put back on the street. No pretrial detention. Witnesses won't talk because they're out there and they're afraid of retaliation. So, that, and again, a number of other factors, I think, contribute to this ongoing violent crime issue we're having right now. I think there's a lack of fear of consequence, and I'm concerned about it. I think that this movement to keep people out of jail is a problem. I believe that people who commit violent crimes should be in jail, period. And if they're using a gun to commit those violent crimes, absolutely they need to be in jail, because what we're seeing are repeat offenders. We have 60% of the people that we've arrested over the past few years, we've arrested before, and many of them, again, for the same crime. So this is an issue for me. It's an issue for the police department, and I'm not quite sure how we get a handle on it without all the facets of all the other parts of the criminal justice system working in sync.
Before you go, because we are running out of time, for parents, families watching, it is a Sunday morning. These families want to hear from you. They might be scared. They hear us talking about these shootings, these violent crimes. What is your message to them?
As I mentioned, there are exceptions to this, but a lot, I'd say the majority of the violent crimes they're not random. They are happening because of people who engage in risky behavior. Again, there's exceptions to this, but this is what we're seeing a great deal of. And minus the risky behavior, your chances of becoming the victim of a violent crime are slim. And again, there's exceptions to this, but that's the rule.
Chief, well, if you're concerned, I'm sure parents out there, the community is as well, but they appreciate you coming on here and speaking us and taking the time to do so. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
You're welcome. Good seeing y'all.
You too. Time now, 8:12, 79 degrees out.
All right, coming up, the FDA ordered juul vaping devices be removed from store shelves across the nation, but not so fast. Find out why that order has now been delayed.
And taking a live look out of the Alamo City, 79 now. How hot will it get? When will we see rain? We're going to check in with Sarah Spivey in just a bit.
Welcome back. It's going to be a very, very hot day. Already it's humid. Gross out there.
I know. And today, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22.
Nice.
Are you going to hit that note?
No. I'll let y'all sing.
Not that we're 22 years old, but that today is going to be the 22nd day where we likely see 100 degrees. So far, we've had 21 days of triple-digit weather this year. We could very well at least be in the top 3 of the triple-digit days on record. Records go all the way back to 1885. And my friends, we still have July and August and even September to go through. So we very well could be in that top 3 there. Today, we're going to be at 101, 22 days of triple-digit weather. But notice that in the week ahead, those temperatures actually come down quite a bit. Our average high this time of year is 93, and it's going to be close to average through a good portion of the week. Reason for that? Cool front and tropical moisture. Outside right now, though, we definitely have the moisture. It feels humid outside. It's 80 degrees outside right now, 78 in New Braunfels, 76 in Uvalde, 78 in Del Rio. As we zoom out, we can see where the front is. It's 61 degrees in Amarillo. Now, we're not going to get in the 60s or even in the 50s, but temperatures will come down closer to average. And this cool front is going to spark off some widely scattered showers and storms. Let me take you through the FUTURECAST early tomorrow morning as that front moves through. Right right around the time of the early morning commute, there could be a few isolated showers out there, a couple of damp spots on the roads, but really the better chance for rain in the day comes during the second part of the day when we'll have widely scattered showers and storms in the area around the San Antonio metro area. It is not going to rain everywhere, but there is that chance for widely scattered showers and storms, not only tomorrow, but also on Tuesday as well, especially in the second part of the day in the afternoon. Then as we head into Wednesday and Thursday, some tropical moisture is going to come into play, and that'll keep rain chances in the forecast through about Thursday, although the timing and the amount of rain is a little bit more fuzzy for Wednesday and Thursday with that tropical moisture. Still, just about every day this week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we have a chance for widely scattered showers and storms. How much rain are we talking? Well, it's not going to put much of a dent in the drought at all, unfortunately for us. About a quarter to half an inch of rain is likely in many backyards from Monday through Thursday, with most of the rainfall falling across the Texas coast closer to Houston and Galveston, 1 to 3 inches of rain. But hey, even though it's not going to rain everywhere and there's not going to be a ton of healthy rainfall amounts, at least there's the chance for rain to help shake things up from this triple-digit streak we've been seeing. Okay, today in your KSAT 12-hour forecast, though, just heat. More of the same for us. Around noon, we'll be at 90 degrees with these clouds clearing, and then in the afternoon, we'll be in the 90s. By 3 p.m., we start to introduce a 10% chance for a stray shower. That's it. We'll be at 101 for the high temperature, 6 p.m., and tonight, it's still going to be warm with temperatures in the 90s past sunset at 8:38. It'll be 101 in New Braunfels and in Seguin, 101 in Hondo, 101 in Uvalde, 102 in Poteet and in Pleasanton, 97 in Bernie and 97 in Bulverde, 98 in Kerrville. So more of the same today, but tomorrow is where we start to see those changes. Widely scattered showers and storms possible Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Those highs drop from the triple digits to closer to seasonably average with highs in the low 90s. I'll take it, guys. Even though it's not going to rain every day, everywhere, it is a chance. And so we're saying there's a chance.
I mean, and there's a relief, so I'll take it too.
All right, we're dipping out of the triple-digit degrees.
For a little bit.
Yeah. Time now, 8:20, 79 degrees out.
Straight ahead, Instagram wants to know how old its users are. We've got the details on the new verification tools it's using to keep young kids safe while online.
And the federal government's order to remove Juul vaping products from United States stores, well, that order of removal has been delayed. We're going to explain why in just a bit. Good morning and welcome back. The FDA ordered Juul vaping devices and pods to be removed from United States store shelves last week, but a U.S. appeals court blocking that order, at least temporarily. Now, the court's action comes as the vaping products company prepares its appeal of the FDA's ban that forces the company to remove the products from shelves and prohibits future sales. However, the court's ruling now allows Juul's legal team to review the FDA order. The FDA's ban came as a result of growing concerns that Juul products encourage dangerous smoking habits among underage users.
And Instagram is testing new options to verify the age of its users to protect those under the age of 17 from unwanted and unknown contact from adults, as well as inappropriate ads. The photo sharing service owned by Meta, the parent company of Facebook, said it is testing 2 new ways to verify a user's age. One option is using software to estimate a person's age, and they're doing that based on facial features after the user uploads a video selfie. The other option is for teens between the ages of 13 and 17 to list 3 mutual followers who must be at least 18 years old to confirm the user's age.
All right, time now, 8:25, 79 degrees out.
Still ahead, President Biden with a major announcement today, a major Russian export now banned, how it could affect the country's economy.
And a home under construction left with tens of thousands of dollars worth of damage after flames. What San Antonio Fire Department is now saying about the blaze, we have the latest from investigators after the break. Good morning. Welcome back and happy Sunday. I'm Max Massey.
And I'm Alicia Barrera. It's Sunday, June 26th.
I was ready for that one. It just popped up.
I was not.
Hello. You know what I am ready for, though?
A relief
from the heat.
temperature.
Yes.
Some rain.
Possibly.
Maybe. Sarah, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Hey, yeah, I love that. It was a quick oh, hey. That was really
Stay
good.
ready.
But yeah, we are going to see a little bit of relief from the heat this week in the form of widely scattered showers and storms, our best chance for rain in a while, and temperatures closer to the average, which is around 93 this time of year. Today, though, we got to get through the heat. Let's take a look outside with satellite and temperatures. You can see that it's 80 degrees in San Antonio, 79 in Hondo, 80 in Pleasanton, 78 in Del Rio, 75 in Kerrville, as is the usual. We are seeing some early morning clouds here, some puffy cumulus clouds. In your neighborhood, it's 78 in Bulverde, 77 in Converse, 80 near Stinson, 81 in Castroville, and 79 in Hondo. But today, likely going to see 101 for the high temperatures. So what's ahead? What are we going to talk about? Another triple digit day today. Today would be our 22nd 100-degree day so far this year, and we're not even through June yet. We still got July and August to go. But tomorrow, a cool front is going to move through, bringing widely scattered thunder showers. Not everyone is going to see rain, but the chance for rain is there. And this week, we'll have tropical moisture stick around, which should give us about a 30 to 40% chance for widely scattered showers and storms through about Thursday. So we'll be talking about this, including how much rain could be expected in the forecast in just a few moments. Alicia, Max.
Thank you, Sarah. New this morning, San Antonio firefighters investigating after flames broke out at a construction site. This was the scene around 1 this morning at a home on the east side. Now, fire crews there telling us flames could have been seen coming from the windows of the building under construction. They arrived to the scene in the 300 block of Maryland. That's near South Walter Street. Investigators say they were able to put out the fire quickly. They managed to keep the flames contained to only one room, didn't spread to any surrounding buildings, but the entire structure suffered water and smoke damage. Luckily, no injuries to any people reported, no one at home, because again, it was a construction site. Damage estimated at $40,000, but they're investigating, trying to figure out why this all happened.
And protests across the country continue as 26 states are expected to eventually ban or severely restrict abortion.
Now, a grassroots resistance movement on the rise that looks notably different than it did in the 1960s. ABC's Christine Sloan explains.
The Supreme Court's decision ending constitutional protections for abortion is sparking protests across the country. In Rhode Island, a candidate for state senate says her opponent, a Providence police officer, punched her at a rally. That officer has now been charged with simple assault. Outside the Supreme Court, 2 people were arrested for destruction of property, while some celebrated the court's decision.
I honestly cried tears of joy. It's been something that we have been waiting for so long.
Justice Samuel Alito writing Roe was egregiously wrong and deeply damaging. Roe was on a collision course with the Constitution from the day it was decided. Some are now expressing concern after Justice Clarence Thomas argued in his concurring opinion the Supreme Court should reconsider other rulings codifying rights to contraception access and same-sex marriage.
There's a very good chance that probably not in the next year or two, but within a few years, issues like contraception or same-sex marriage could actually be subject to revisiting.
Abortion is now illegal for 31 million Americans in at least 8 states, with 18 more likely to ban or severely restrict abortions in the coming days or weeks. Planned Parenthood is now filing a lawsuit in Utah to block the state's trigger ban.
There's a lot of Utahns who don't agree with the trigger law that they put into effect.
In Minnesota, the governor signed an executive order protecting women who seek abortions in his state from legal repercussions in their own state. And the Biden administration says the president is asking the Justice Department to challenge state laws restricting the right to travel to seek an abortion. Christine Sloan, ABC News, New York.
And in the aftermath from that major Supreme Court decision overturning Roe v. Wade, Bexar County Sheriff Javier Salazar taking to Facebook with this post, saying that he's the sheriff, but also a dad to 2 daughters. He says, quote, "As their dad, I have no control over their adult bodies. As their sheriff, it is absolutely none of my business. I will not persecute Texas women or anyone else pursuing those same rights," end quote. He does go on to criticize the justice's decision, saying, quote, "Shame on the Supreme Court." In your morning headlines, a terrifying situation at a WeatherTech work campus in Illinois ends in gunfire. 3 people shot, 1 dead, and now one person in custody. Police say a 27-year-old suspect was a temporary worker who allegedly robbed 2 co-workers at the manufacturing plant, then pulled a gun, shooting 3 people, killing one of them. One victim remains in critical condition. The third has been released from the hospital. The alleged shooter has been identified, Charles McKnight Jr. of Chicago's Fernwood neighborhood.
And an attorney for Ghislaine Maxwell wants to postpone her sentencing after she was placed on suicide watch. The former Jeffrey Epstein associate was set to be sentenced this Tuesday in Manhattan federal court for sex trafficking. Her attorney says Maxwell was abruptly removed from the general population and put in solitary confinement Friday, but still no word on why she was put on suicide watch. A motion to postpone her sentencing is expected to be introduced tomorrow, and she could be facing up to 55 years in jail.
Well, heading to California, a fast-growing brush fire forcing evacuation of dozens of homes just west of Riverside. It's what's being called the Union Fire. It's already destroyed 95 acres. Here's the thing, though. Firefighters say it is 0% contained. Mandatory evacuation orders have been issued for residents of the Santa Ana River bottom and surrounding areas. The cause of the fire still under investigation, not yet determined.
And history is made as President Joe Biden signed what most are calling the most sweeping gun violence bill. The bipartisan compromise seemed unimaginable until a recent series of mass shootings, including the one that we saw close to home at Robb Elementary in Uvalde. The House gave final approval Friday after the Senate passed it on Thursday. President Biden signed the $13 billion legislation just before leaving Washington for 2 world leader summits in Europe. The legislation will toughen background checks for the youngest gun buyers, keep firearms from more domestic violence offenders, and it'll also help states put in place laws that make it easier for authorities to take weapons from people adjudged to be dangerous. Most of the money will help bolster mental health programs as well as aid schools.
And as Alicia just alluded to, President Biden is overseas at the G7 summit. But before he left, the president taking to Twitter saying together the G7 will announce that we will ban the import of Russian gold. It's a major export that actually rakes in tens of billions of dollars a year for the country of Russia. While meeting with international leaders, President Joe Biden is aiming to sustain this global alliance to punish Russia for the invasion of Ukraine. His trip comes as the 4-month-old war shows no sign of slowing down, and its aftershocks, while leading to the global food and energy supply, that problem is only deepening. And President Biden first joins a meeting of the Group of 7 leading economic powers in the Bavarian Alps of Germany before traveling to Madrid for the NATO summit.
And back here at home, it's another pandemic problem that requires some unique thinking to solve.
All right, so that was the goal behind the Rescue United adoption event. Dozens of cats and dogs, and yes, even a horse.
Yeah, they were on display to be adopted at the San Antonio Shrine Auditorium, a horse.
Yeah, so what makes this event different is that 13 different rescue organizations, they came together, brought their pets in need of a forever home.
A horse can be a pet, reminder.
Okay.
All to one place. Organizers say the need for people to adopt right now is overwhelming.
We're all struggling because there's just too many animals on the street. And then with COVID, a lot of the vets were shut down. So that took away from all the free spay neuters that the local community could, take advantage of.
I wonder if anyone was able to adopt the horse.
This guy's really cute. Oh, look at him go.
All these puppies and cats are so cute. All right, so the event also offered spay, neuter, vaccines, and microchip services.
All right, time now, 8:39, 80 degrees out.
Weather watchers got an eyeful, and what they saw had their hearts pounding. We'll tell you where 3 waterspouts put on a show after the break.
All right, let's take a live look. They weren't here. That's the important part. Not in San Antonio. Taking a live look out there. 80 degrees now. How hot will it get? And when will we see rain?
KSAT 12 celebrates Military City, USA. Powered by USAA.
San Antonio is known as Military City, USA, where every enlisted Air Force recruit starts their basic training at Lackland Air Force Base.
What's it feel like to be loved by
It's 8 weeks of training that transform a civilian into a United States Airman.
And so this is where their Air Force career starts, and then it's also kind of the gateway into going further into their Air Force career. So they start here and they graduate here throughout basic training. They put blood, sweat, and tears onto all these drill pads, changed who they are as an individual to become a better individual here at Lackland Air Force Base. And on graduation day, just seeing how proud everyone in the stands is, how much taller they stand up on graduation day, how much taller you stand up as well. Just seeing that they set their mind to something and they were able to accomplish it. And now they're going to go out and do amazing things for our Air Force.
Roe v. Wade overturned by the Supreme Court. Today, the impact, the real-time fallout, breaking new details, what it now means for women all across the nation. Today on a special edition of ABC's This Week.
Mother Nature put on a show earlier this week that was scary, but beautiful at the same time.
Quite the show, to say the least. So check it out. Let's see if we can get the video up. 3 separate water spouts spotted twisting off the coast of Alabama. Fortunately, they stayed over the water. No damages, no injuries reported.
But the National Weather Service did issue a special marine warning for the coastal region. Their appearance just ended up being a dazzling display of the power of Mother Nature. And I will be honest, I had to ask what a water spout was because this is a first. I mean, it looks a little scary.
It's a column of rotating air over the water. Very similar to a tornado and typically a lot weaker than a tornado. But I loved it. It kind of looked like War of the Worlds.
Yes.
It was kind of crazy to see that. That was awesome. But yeah, that was way off in Alabama. Today in San Antonio, Texas, we are going to be hot, but there is relief in sight in the form of at least a chance for rain. Outside right now, though, it is 80 degrees. It feels like 84 because of high humidity. South-southwest at about 10 miles per hour. That's where the wind is coming from right now. And today it'll be 101 in New Braunfels, 101 in Gonzales, 103 in Del Rio, 98 in Kerrville, 101 in Hondo, 102 in Pleasanton. Here's your KSAT 12-hour forecast for San Antonio. A few clouds out there right now. As we head toward lunch, we'll have mostly sunny skies and temperatures will be in the low 90s. In the afternoon, mid to upper 90s, we start to introduce a 10% chance for a stray shower this afternoon. If you're lucky, you'll get a little rain in your backyard this afternoon. It'll be 101 in San Antonio for the high, our 22nd 100-degree day so far this year. And even in the evening, it's going to be warm. Now, looking ahead, though, temperatures are going to come down closer to the average. It's still going to be warm outside, but Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, temperatures should be in the low to mid 90s. All because we have a chance for some rain and a cool front on the way. 80 in San Antonio right now, 79 in New Braunfels, 79 in Hondo, 77 in Uvalde, 82 in Pleasanton. But you take a wider view here and you can see the cooler air. It's 61 degrees in Amarillo, even in the 50s in parts of Colorado right now. Now that front is going to be moving through early tomorrow morning. It's not going to drop us down into the 50s or even into the 60s, but it is going to bring a chance for some showers. You can see that there already are some showers along that cool front up in the panhandles of Texas and Oklahoma. That's going to combine with some tropical moisture from the Gulf. Look out toward New Orleans and even parts of the northeastern Gulf of Mexico. There's an area of disorganized thunderstorms. It has a low chance of developing into a tropical depression or greater in the next couple of days, about a 20% chance. But we're not really concerned about development. The thing that this is going to bring us is some tropical moisture. Anywhere you see here this red color, that is rich tropical moisture. That's going to be moving across the Gulf in the coming hours. And into early tomorrow morning, that tropical moisture will be in south central Texas along with that cool front. So what does that mean for us? Well, it means early tomorrow morning during the morning commute, there could be a few thunder showers out there, isolated at best. But as we head into the afternoon, that tropical moisture increases. Tomorrow, late afternoon and evening is when we have a chance for some widely scattered showers and storms. It's been a while since I've been able to show this much rain potential on the map here. And again, unfortunately, it's not going to rain in everyone's backyard, but there is a good chance for widely scattered showers and storms. Both tomorrow and Tuesday. Even Wednesday and Thursday, the chance for rain is there. It'll be more isolated as that tropical moisture continues to hang around. So all in all, we've got about a 40% chance for widely scattered showers and storms tomorrow and Tuesday, especially during the second part of the day tomorrow, and 30% chance on Wednesday and Thursday. Again, the rain is not a slam dunk, but areas that do see rain will see anywhere from a quarter to half an inch of rainfall through Thursday, with some of the heavier rainfall amounts really for the Houston-Galveston area, 1 to 3 inches of rainfall there. So even though not everyone is going to see rain, there is a good chance for rain this week, especially tomorrow and Tuesday, and those highs will be coming down into the low 90s across south central Texas, closer to the seasonable average, and we'll probably end the triple-digit streak at least temporarily, because we've still got July, we've still got August, we've still got parts of September to get through. We'll probably add on some triple-digit days again by the end of the summer. Hey, I just got the pollen count in. I'll have an updated look at that after the break here in a bit.
All right, there's Bobby. Thank you so much. Hey, guess what? Go Spurs, go.
Go Spurs, go.
There we go. All right, so the Spurs introducing their 3 new teammates, 3 first-round picks. There was a big press conference, well, private press conference at the AT&T Center. The jersey's already made. There he is, 9th overall pick, Jeremy Sohan, wearing number 10. If you're a Spurs history buff, not even that historical, the jersey famously worn by another man who loves to dye his hair while in San Antonio, Dennis Rodman. So we also have 2 new players as well. We got 20th overall, Malachi Branham. He will wear number 22. And the 25th overall pick, Blake Wesley, getting number 14. All 3 of these guys one and dones out of college, meaning they just spent a year as a freshman. And it is another sign that San Antonio embracing this youth movement. But I am so optimistic, so excited for this upcoming season. I love this youth movement. We showed a lot of talent. And these guys, I'm excited for what they're going to bring. All right, so a lot of questions regarding this man on and off the field, Deshaun Watson, his short-term future with the Browns now coming into focus. Cleveland's quarterback is set to have a hearing next week with NFL disciplinary officer Sue L. Robinson. That is being reported by the Associated Press. Now, there's a lot of questions regarding Watson. Remember, he's facing a possible suspension from the league stemming from accusations of sexual misconduct by 24 massage therapists in Texas. So only time will tell what happens to Deshaun. And we will obviously stay on top of the story on air and online as more information becomes available. Time now, 8:51, 80 degrees out.
Tomorrow on GMSA, critical training is taking place right here in Military City, USA, from flight safety procedures to the fundamentals of aerodynamics and more, crucial to the success of transport missions around the world. Tomorrow on GMSA, we take you inside the Joint Base San Antonio's Career Enlisted Aviator Center of Excellence, and they're responsible for producing elite air crews.
And the news you need to know before you go, San Antonio police trying to figure out what exactly happened that sparked a shooting in the parking lot of the Manhattan nightclub. This happening here in San Antonio, the 3800 block of Blanco Road. Now, gunshots rang out about 2:30 this morning. 4 people shot. 2 rushed to the hospital in critical condition. We're told 2 other people managed to drive themselves to the hospital. Police tell us multiple shell casings found in the parking lot. Officers at the scene saying they believe it was a fight inside the club. It escalated to gunfire outside. Authorities still investigating, trying to figure out what exactly happened and who is responsible.
In the pollen count today, molds are at 210 in the 210. Pretty low there for those molds, and no Saharan dust out there. In the coming days, we're going to have widely scattered showers and storms, and temperatures will be in the 90s. So again, I got to emphasize this. Not everybody's going to see rain, but the chance is there. So that's good.
Saying there's a chance.
Saying there's a chance.
All right. Sarah Spivey, thank you so much. Thank you for joining us this morning. Thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your Sunday.